Yeah guys, so I'm back with another review with the most recent episode of The Mandalorian, The Jedi. So after so long, we finally get one of the most beloved characters of Star Wars, which she did start off as like one of the most hated characters of Star Wars, Ahsoka Tano. Now, I loved her. I mean, she's one of my favourite characters in Star Wars, and I was so happy with finally getting her in live action played by Rosario Dawson. Now, this episode was written and directed by Dave Filoni, the creator of Star Wars, Clone Wars and Rebels. He should be in charge of Star Wars in general at Disney. But I have seen Dave Filoni in real life back in 2016 at the season 3 of Star Wars Rebels panel back in London. Now, this is the third episode he's directed. The other two episodes are from season 1. The first episode and the Gunslinger, which I do think the first episode. I like the first episode. The Gunslinger, meh, you can take it or leave it. Personally, I don't mind it. But this episode, I mean, this is his best episode yet, and possibly, arguably, I keep saying this every week apart from episode 2. It's arguably like my favourite episode, and this is really like up there. This is probably my favourite episode in the entire Mandalorian. Finally getting to see Dave Filoni's Ahsoka Tano's character put into live action, played by Rosario Dawson. I mean, she is an underrated actress working today. I mean, she's been in things like the Marvel Netflix shows, Men in Black 2, Clerks 2, Percy Jackson the Lightning Thief, so many shows and movies. I mean, she is great at this. I mean, it is a different actress from the voice actress from the Clone Wars and Rebels, but we're kind of seeing like a 40-year-old like Ahsoka Tano in her 40s, and she kind of fits into that role perfectly. I mean, it's still the same Ahsoka Tano that we know from the Rebels and the Clone Wars, but you do have that kind of more adult to her, that kind of middle-aged to her. I mean, she is great. What I will say about The Jedi, that compared to the other episodes in The Mandalorian, pretty much every episode of The Mandalorian that had more of like a western low gunslinger vibe to it, this really had the samurai approach to it. It reminded me so much of the old school samurai films like Throne of Blood, Hidden Fortress, Seven Samurai. I mean, that showdown at the end between Morgan Elsbeth and Ahsoka Tano, it's just great. I mean, it reminded me so much of those black and white samurai films that I watch. That was amazing. The fight choreography, the swordsman approach to it, it's great. And consider this is not like a movie. It had much more of a lesser budget. It really worked, and that was the one thing I was worried about. And the atmosphere and the planet of Corvus. I mean, I was kind of getting sick of like, oh, here's the sand planet, here's the water planet. But like Corvus had its own unique like identity to it. I was getting sick of like, oh, here's the ice planet. There's like 5 different ice planets in Star Wars, but this really had that own. I mean, when in my head, the forest, which was like a forest planet, it was like a dead forest, and it was covered in smoke, and it was just lifeless. And you get the town, and it kind of reminded me of the like some of the sci-fi films like Snowpiercer or Elysium, when you get like a town and it's full of like the lesser the lower class, and then you get the higher tier. You kind of got the criminals in charge, and they got their own place, and it's like wealthy, and it's got catfish, and it's got plants and everything. That was just great. The cinematography is just beautiful. The color palettes are just great. And we finally have a name for Baby Yoda now. It's Grogu, or Grogu. I mean, it sounds like Goku, but it kind of had like a Pokemon vibe to it. I mean, it does sound like a Pokemon name. I think there's one called Grogon, but Grogu. I was so happy because we don't have to call him Baby Yoda now. I mean, give it a month and hopefully people will start calling it Grogu instead of Baby Yoda. The one thing I wasn't really happy about, I mean, it's really a nitpick, but you've seen Ahsoka Tano in the animated shows. Her montrals, I believe I'm saying that right, her like horn pieces, the blue and white horn pieces, they're actually shorter. I mean, this takes place after Rebels, and in Rebels her montrals, I call it her hair, are kind of down to her waist, but in this it kind of goes down to her chest, which is kind of a nitpick, which I can understand why they did it, because it wouldn't really work in live action. Okay, I'll accept that. Maybe possibly the species, maybe they grow long, but then they get to an age when they go shorter, kind of like us. We grow tall, then we grow short. My theory, okay, there's so many theories. I mean, the big name drop, Grand Admiral Thrawn. I mean, when Ahsoka wanted the Master, where is the Master? We all thought, oh, it's Moff Gideon, it's Moff Gideon. But Grand Admiral Thrawn, I was like, whoa, that was like the holy shit moment. I mean, of course, the last time we saw Grand Admiral Thrawn was with Ezra, and they head off to the Outer Rims. And Grand Admiral Thrawn is like a big part of Star Wars Rebels in the later half, and the books, the Timothy Zahn books. I mean, I was so blown away. I mean, hopefully, I don't think we're going to get Grand Admiral Thrawn in this season. Maybe probably the last part of season 2. I mean, like a big reveal at the end, like they did with season 1. I mean, we could see him in season 3, but I think here's a big speculation. Since they're planning to do other Star Wars TV shows, they could be doing like a Rebels sequel series or like an Ahsoka series. I would be down for that. I mean, because I think The Mandalorian has too many things to work with. They got Boba Fett, they got Moff Gideon. You can still do filler episodes. So I feel like, would I like to see Grand Admiral Thrawn? But I'd be happy either way if it was another TV show or The Mandalorian. So they got to head off to Tython, where they got to go to a Jedi temple. I mean, we're pretty obvious that we'll see a Jedi. I mean, there's 4 possibilities. It's either going to be Luke Skywalker, which I don't think we're going to get Mark Hamill. We're probably going to get a young actor to do it. We're going to get Cal from Jedi Fallen Order video game. That was a possibility. Ezra from the last time we saw him was like when he heads off to the Outer Rims in the end of Rebels. So we're going to see like an older version of him. That would be cool. Or possibly a new different Jedi that we've never seen before. There's so much going on now, and I feel like every episode of Mandalorian is so rewarding, but they give us more mysteries to it. So far, The Jedi, arguably my favourite episode. It's definitely like a top 10. Maybe a top 3. I mean, Dave Filoni's best episodes that directed. I was really worried considering his last couple of episodes wasn't amazing, but they were still good. But yeah, this is his best episode yet. So yeah, I'm happy with The Jedi and 3 more episodes to go.